Hey, congratulations. So you're an investor, you want to be an investor, but you want to figure out exactly what you need to know when it comes to lending, right? And as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, as an investor, it's important for you to understand the lingo when it comes to lending. So let's dive right into it.
You're listening to the Commercial Finance Podcast by Lee Chandler, where we discuss industry insights, tips about lending, capital finance, business acquisitions.
The worst investment you can have is cash.
Real estate acquisitions.
Your financial advice depends on who you are.
And everything in between. This is the Commercial Finance Podcast.
The number one confusion that people have when it comes to lending is, especially with real estate finance, is ARV, LTV, and LTC, okay? Those are three different calculations that will give you three different outputs that will give you three different, completely different loans. And if you don't understand the difference or know which one is most advantageous for you as a developer, as a builder, as a real estate investor, maybe someone who is a real estate wholesaler, right? If you don't know the difference between these things, it will kill whatever deal you are working on, okay? Financing is truly that important. So let's get into it. What in the heck is LTV? Now, LTV is probably the most commonly used one out there, and it stands for loan to value. Loan to value. And here's what that means for you. That means that a lender will go and have an appraisal, like on a property, and they're trying to figure out, well, what's the value of this property? How much is this property worth, right? And so for simple numbers, we're gonna say that they say, hey, listen, that property is worth $1 million. Now, if your loan to value, your LTV is that of 70%, 70%, then that means that at the maximum, they're going to lend you 70% of the value of that property, which is, out of $1 million, is how much? $700,000, okay? That was pretty simple, right? No issues there. So LTV is the most common. The second one that lenders like to use is loan to cost. That's LTC, loan to cost. Now, this is primarily used if someone is building from the ground up. It's like that ground up construction, okay? Now, whether you're building an apartment building, an office building, or even just a single family home, maybe a duplex, triplex, whatever. The reason that they use LTC and not LTV is because the piece of land, right, whether it's a huge development or just a parcel of land, right, the piece of land has a value of its own. But if you were to get a loan just on the land's value, it's not going to equate to enough for you to actually build a structure on. Here's an example. Let's say you are in the market of, let's say you're in Detroit, Michigan, okay? And there is a piece of land that is for sale for, let's say, $7,000. And yes, that's kind of common in Detroit based on the area, okay? Now, if you go to a bank and say, hey, listen, I want a 70% LTV loan on this piece of land, the first thing they're going to do is probably tell you no, because the value isn't large enough to have a big enough loan, right? Most lenders, they want $50,000, $70,000 of a loan minimum, okay? So they'll say, hey, that's not big enough for me. But if you said, hey, listen, I have a piece of land that I've just purchased for $7,000, or that I want to purchase for $7,000, and I want to build a structure, I want to build a commercial property, I want to build a residential property on it, and that property is going to be worth $1 million, or that property is going to be worth $100,000. You have to be realistic. You got to show the comps, guys. Okay, you got to show the BPO to make sure that it aligns with what you claim the value of the property is for. That's first off. But as long as all those things check out. So in other words, if the average home in the area is selling for $100,000, then don't present to the lender that, hey, I'm gonna build a house on a similar lot, a similar piece of land, but it'll be worth $1 million. I'm not gonna go for that, okay? Because they're gonna have their own appraisal and their own BPO, which stands for broker's price opinion. And the broker, who's a licensed agent, is not gonna tell them that, yeah, I think that property can be worth $1 million when all the others around it are worth $100,000, okay? So that's not gonna work. But nonetheless, let's get back to the scenario. So what they're gonna say is, oh, okay, you wanna build a $100,000 home and you wanna include the purchase of the lot to build that $100,000 home. So what they're gonna do then is, if they're doing a 70% LTC, loan to cost, they're gonna equate, Mr. Baptist, as the developer, do you have a budget for this property? I would say yes. I would submit my budget. And let's say that my budget said it's gonna take me $50,000 to build a $100,000 house, okay? So they're gonna take the budget that I gave them, and let's say that the cost for that is $50,000. Then they're gonna take the purchase price, and let's say the purchase price for this lot is $7,000. It's a grand total of $57,000. They're then gonna look at the overall value of the structure, the future value, right, of the structure that I wanna build. And they're going to say, okay, it makes sense that this can happen. And they say, listen, we're gonna lend you 70% loan to cost of the $57,000. So that means that out of that entire budget, the purchase and the renovation, I'm now responsible for 30% of the $57,000 value, okay? I hope that makes sense, all right? Matter of fact, just for quick math, I'm gonna bump it up. Let's say that, for quick math, let's say that I'm building a same type of structure, but let's say it's gonna cost me a grand total of $50,000, okay? Then that means that I'm gonna be responsible out of pocket $15,000, okay? I hope that makes sense. All right, now let's get to the last one, number 3. And this is one that you don't want to get confused. The last one is ARV, okay? ARV. ARV stands for after repair value. So you think about it, your ARV is really it's kind of like a collaboration or a combo almost between the LTC, the loan to cost, and the LTV, the loan to value, okay? So remember your LTV, your loan to value, is based on the present value of the property or the structure. That's your loan to value, that's your LTV. Your LTC is basically the value of your improvement, right? So the cost of your construction, that's your LTC. But your ARV, if you think about it this way, your ARV is actually the combination between the two. Your ARV is the after repair value. So here's a great example. Let's say you're looking at a property in a prestigious part of Cleveland, Ohio, okay? And in that particular neighborhood, houses are going for $300,000. Woohoo! That's a deal in Cleveland, okay? That's a really nice house in Cleveland, all right? No disrespect to my fellow Ohioans, all right? But anyway, so $300,000 house, fantastic. And let's kind of back up a little bit. So let's say that all the houses in the area have sold for $300,000. Well, let's say you want to get into fix and flips, and so you want to buy things at a discount, okay? And so you're able to get a contract or a purchase agreement with the seller of this house for, let's say, $100,000, right? But the house needs a lot of repairs. So if you go to a lender and they choose to lend you money based on the ARV, the after repair value, then what they're saying is, hey, let's say the ratio is 70% as well. Let's say it's 70% ARV. Then what they're saying is, listen, if you have a property that has a future value at some point in time, right, of $300,000, we're willing to lend you 70% of what that future value could or would possibly be. So in this example, my loan would be that of $240,000, because that would essentially be 70% of 300,000. I'm just doing the math off my head. This isn't scripted or rehearsed, okay? So please feel free to double check my math, all right? Now, if I'm buying the home from a seller for $100,000, but the bank is willing to give me a loan for $240,000, what that means is that I now have a spread, if we do the quick math, of $240,000 minus the purchase price of $100,000. That means I have a spread of, drumroll please, $140,000. That means that $140,000 can now be deployed. It can go into renovations. It can go into exterior, interior, etc., to make that home more attractive, so that when the appraiser comes by after the 9th or 10th or 12th month of my loan, it can verify that the value of the property has increased, and therefore it increases the value of my portfolio. And therefore, if I'm flipping the house, I can now sell it on the market knowing that it has or meets or exceeds the needed value to be sold on the market. Okay? So real quick, we're gonna summarize this all up real quick. There are 3 primary types of lending for acronyms when it comes to real estate investing. The first one that people often use is that of LTV, loan to value. The second one is LTC, which is loan to cost. And the third and last one that is most commonly used is ARV, after repair value. Now here's the thing. Lenders can choose, based on the programs that they offer, which of those 3 they want to present to investors, or which of the 3 they want to present to borrowers, essentially, aka, the real estate entrepreneurs and investors, okay? A lender will choose between the 3 based on what is most advantageous for them, and also based on what is going on in the market. And so you want to be well educated and well versed to know the difference between the 3. And as you're prospecting, approaching other deals, you can quickly run the numbers and say, you know what, my lender is not going to go for that. You know what, that one is going to be out of the LTV. You know what, that one's best for ARV. And you'll be able to look at deals and you'll say, okay, this one's a fix and flip. I can use my LTC product. Great. You'll be able to say, okay, this one is a buy and hold. I'm better off doing an ARV on that one, right? Or I'm better off doing an LTV on that one, right? I want to buy it, but I also want to get the smallest loan possible, right? So, and what also happens is that based on the risk that the lender perceives, based on LTV, LTC, ARV, it will have different interest rates with it as well. So most of the time, LTC loans are interest-only loans for a set period of time. And most of the time, LTV loans are, they're not interest only, okay? So anyway, I hope this helps. If this does help you or has helped you, let me know in the comments, and I apologize that this is a little bit lengthier than all the others, all right? Talk to you guys soon, and let me know in the comments what you want to hear next. Peace. Hey, what's up, guys? Leland Baptist here, and I wanted to give you guys an awesome opportunity. So if you are a business owner, if you're an investor, and guess what you're going to need? You're going to need a bank account to house all that money, right? Passive income and active income. So if you're looking for a bank account, one of my suggestions is for you to look at North One Bank. North One Bank is a virtual online bank account. I know you were thinking, I thought about it too, like, man, how am I going to initiate wires? Well, you do it literally from your home. No more going to the bank and having to sign off as you transfer money from one area to the other, or you wire things from one company to the other, right? All you have to do is go to lelandbaptist.com/North1. That's lelandbaptist.com
North, North 1, ONE. Set up your free account, and because you use that special link, you are going to get $75 when you open your account. They're literally going to pay you for that. Now, what's great about North 1 is that you can utilize it anywhere. It's virtual banking, and there's no issues, no additional fees necessary. So if you're a business owner or you're looking to open up another account for your business or for your investment accounts, try it out. Go to lelandbaptist.com/North1. You'll be happy that you're there.